all I can tell you is I was blown away by what I saw as just a guest in the lounge, just a guest of being a part of the staff. I can't even imagine the thrills and the chills. It was almost more than I could take. But I got to tell you, I met Bob Scott and I spent some time talking with him. He's an excellent storyteller. I always enjoy a good story. And Bob Doyle, he was there too. If you're sitting around on a Saturday night and you don't know what to do, you might check out the Lounge Show.
C'est le Lounge Show avec Rob Scott et Bob Doyle, deux diffuseurs vétérans qui aiment s'entendre parler et qui réussissent d'une manière ou d'une autre à se supporter. Voyons si vous pouvez les supporter aussi bien. Voici Rob et Bob.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, that was accidental.
That's good. I really like that. I was looking all over for French music.
That was supposed to be last week, and it didn't work. And I thought, well, I guess I wasn't pointing to the right file. And then I hear her speaking French, and I go, what kind of time warp
really
is
good.
this?
No, that was really, really good. I like that, especially since folks haven't had the opportunity to be in the lounge for the last couple of weeks. So we give them something new to open the doors.
Let's give them something to talk about in French.
And he doesn't like musicals, boys and girls. I'm having massive trouble here, Bob, doing the usual. This is the lounge. We're here every Saturday, except we weren't the last couple. And there it is.
On a Saturday. So something's going. Boy, that piano just. Hold on. Let's listen to that again. Let's just listen to how the piano just dies. Let's listen.
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Donk. It's like the string broke almost. Donk.
Either that or he ran out of time. Like he didn't have any more quarters to put in, so he couldn't play anymore. That was the last note he got.
One more time.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Because I can see you I can see you editing this and going, okay, how do I put a button on this? I'll put a little reverb, and you were happy with it, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
You should
because you shouldn't do a fast fade. I think that's for wimps.
No, it just sounded like all of a sudden the room cleared out. It was him, and maybe it was in the back of a moving van, an empty moving van. Hold on, one more time. Hold on.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, he's in the back of a moving truck.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Oh boy!
So look at this. We've got company, Bob. Are you looking in the on the old chat board?
Oh no. Let's see who we've got here. Ben. Hello, Ben.
Yes.
Evan. Is that Fee? Sammy?
Fee, yeah.
And I are all watching on the living room TV. Well, what an episode you chose!
Yeah, I have no sound. I can't play a thing. I'm out. But yes, they were all here today because I made stir fry for the crew. It was a wonderful Saturday afternoon here at the house. And I live on my own. Oh, there's something going off with my phone. I live on, and then in a moment, Bob,
Hi, Karen.
It was like people coming out of a clown car at the circus. There were 5 or 6
Sounds
people.
terrifying.
And dogs. There was dog singular. It was awesome though. The whole house just energy, and you would have been. I think you would have enjoyed the meal. I stumbled through a stir fry pretty good today. I was pretty pleased.
Yeah, but but wow, look at everybody up there. Yeah, but did you put water chestnuts in there?
I did not.
Did you put? What's the other one I can't handle?
A lot of things you can't handle.
Okay, but let me get to this on my own. It's not.
Okay.
I like bean sprouts. What's the other one with the texture? Bamboo shoots.
I had some bean sprouts, but I didn't put them in today.
No, bean sprouts are good. That's fine.
Okay. And I had peas in there. Do you like peas? See, look at, I knew it. It just takes a minute, boys and girls, and Bob won't like something. It doesn't take long. And I had red bell pepper in there and some chili paste. And I used a Japanese udon noodle. It was a lot of fun.
Wow, how
interesting. And Bob, and I know this will bore the hell out of you, but maybe not. But either way, there's this technique.
Good. I don't need the hell in me anymore. I have lived with it for decades.
There's this technique called velveting that they do at Asian restaurants.
Can we talk about this on the show?
We can talk about velveting. It's after 9.
It doesn't sound like it. Okay. Yeah, but it's 6 p.m. Pacific.
That's true. But it's 9 here on the East Coast. So as far you remember, maybe you didn't do
What?
this, the broad.
Come on,
I
let's
know
play that back. I want to.
Yeah, I
got
stumbled
so
through
much.
that.
I want to play it. I want to sample it,
stum-
and I want to write a song out of it.
I stumbled on that.
Yeah.
No. Now I forget. See, now you just what did you do? You Animal House. That's what you did there.
You know, we could,
Yeah.
before we get on to anything else, we could stay on the topic of the opener because I did bring something to the table and it involves the intro to our show. And it wasn't Tracy's French version, but although it was a nice setup for, hey, the intro. Is that cool or do you have this long
No, I'm fine.
agenda?
I was going to tell you about velveting.
Oh, yeah,
But
yes.
anyway.
Oh, please.
So that's what they do at Asian restaurants. And two ingredients, the two miracle chemistry ingredients, Bob, are baking soda, which tenderizes the meat, and cornstarch, which seals it, so that when you cook it, all the moisture stays in, and it also puffs. It gets puffier because that steam and everything on the inside cannot escape. So it gives the illusion of more protein. And if you multiply that by every Chinese meal they push out of one of those restaurants, they're saving a bundle of money. And it has this velvety texture too. The meat does.
Okay,
And
that
so
was
it was
where
really, yeah.
That was my
and
next
so
question.
So it's a ton of fun. I highly recommend you look into it. You can use it for chicken or beef or pork. Today I happen to do pork.
I live with vegetarians.
I know you do,
It-
but
it-
I know
and that's
you
why
also.
I just don't put a lot of effort into meat-based dishes. That's pretty much why I just hardly ever cook anymore.
Well, I can see that. I'm just saying, if you choose to, and you wanted to stir fry something up, I guess you could do it with, I don't know, tofu. It doesn't make sense, I don't think. I think this is a grown-up protein thing, this velveting.
Grown up. Nice little side dig.
It was
For us
it was,
adults.
It was a little bit. It was a dig, a small dig. Anyway, I can't play any sound here. Something's wrong.
That's too bad. Well, let me play some sound on my end for us. So I think we've talked about, we may have played with it on this show before. I don't know. But
Yeah.
you tell me. But Suno, it's the one where it writes music and songs and lyrics and that whole thing. Did we play with that once?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. Well,
But we could have, and I just spaced it. Which
well,
is a
basically, so the idea is that you can, it's two approaches. You can type in your own lyrics and then tell it what type of style to play, and it will create the whole produced thing with singers and everything. Okay.
Okay.
All kinds of styles. Or you can just say, write this kind of song about this, and then it will just make up lyrics and just generate something unique. So they just released version.
See, look,
3.
they're still complimenting my food. I just want to let you know. I know I'm interrupting you, but they're still.
No,
they
I
love
interrupt you so often. You owe me many interruptions. It's
I
quite
don't
all
think
right.
you do. I think
Oh
I'm the
no,
one who's-
I promise. Like I just did before you got to do with velvet.
You Animal
I tend to
Housed
forget.
me.
I animal housed.
You did. Yeah,
But I'm in danger of animal housing myself right now.
which will be fun to watch. That's
Okay.
That's
No.
that's
Okay.
the one on
Suno.
stage.
Suno.
Yeah.
So as I
Lyrics.
was sitting here about a half an hour ago or so, thinking, well, once again, I have nothing to bring to this show. We haven't done in 2 weeks. I've had more than ample time to think of at least a little something. But maybe
Right.
I'll just play with Suno. Now they just upgraded to version 3, which I had not upgraded to. So I just thought I would play with version 2 and just type in what Tracy says at the beginning of the show, just as if they were lyrics, and then let it. And then I tried various. It'll show on the screen what the style was that I chose for various ones. But I'd like you to hear I'd like you to hear about 500,000 of them because they're so good. But I had to choose 4, and then there's an
4.
outro one. Okay. Then there's an
Okay.
outro. All right. Are you ready? Here we go.
So you put just to clarify, you put her words,
The
recorded
script, just the
words.
script. No, just the script.
You enter, you type it in,
Yeah.
or cut and paste.
That's what I did.
And right, and then then you tell it to wrangle around with it around monkey
Yeah,
with
like
the wire.
I'll say it's a country song, or it's a kid song, or it's a polka, or
Okay.
it's a whatever, and then give
and
it a
then
title,
It cranks it out.
and then I'll do it. Okay.
All right.
All right. So
Okay.
we've all of us, of course, have heard this 1,000 times, but we've got some new listeners. So all right.
We do.
And I should point out to the audio because
And
you
you
and I
were,
are both.
by the way, just real quick, I know I'm jumping in again, but you
okay.
were the topic of a couple of conversations today. You came up at the party, at the gathering, the feast. There was a couple. One of which was the zip lining over the in Vegas.
Yep.
So anyway, please continue. I want to hear the song.
I always tell that. And this is just for no one's going to care about this. But you and I, there's some people who are particular about their audio, and you and I certainly are. And this is not some audio quality, like the fidelity sounding. It's a lot more clear than other versions. But it's basically, remember when I played your real audio? Okay, it's not quite that bad. But you'll get the idea. Like this is not going to stream on Spotify or anything quite yet. But here we go.
Okay.
It's the Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk, still somehow tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Okay.
And first of all, I like the in the beginning we've got the singing, but then they do the Ink Spots-esque
Lounge,
deal,
and then a lot of these just seem to. A lot of them seem to know this is a voiceover and talked instead with a bed on top, which was unexpected but pretty cool. But here's Here's another.
It's the Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are still able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
I only saved that one because of the Here's Rob and Bob. The rest of it was kind of lackluster, but man, oh man.
Yes and no. You see, the Here's Rob and Bob was great at the end. I did like that. But I'll tell you, in the middle, that's like a Broadway song.
Yeah, I think, what is the style? What did it say?
Like
I said
music.
polka, but it obviously went show tune on it, which is, I tried to do show tune and it gave me country or whatever. Anyway, you want another one?
Here's the Rob and Bob, though, is good. You should extract that. You should put it into Adobe and
Rob,
just cut that out.
The number of these I did not, and there are probably better ones than the one I've chose. I'm telling you, it is so addicting because to hear that theme and that intro sung by like a choir or something, it's just like, all right, here we go.
It's the Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. No many broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are still able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Isn't that freaking out? I mean, that's like when we perform live, right? And some guy is introducing us on the stage, does it verbatim. You want to hear the crowd.
I would want to come out then after that and say, "Welcome to the club." It was like a club sound, you know. But that doesn't sound like a club. You should try to sound.
Look, I don't have a button that says club on it.
This is like small room, I think, is what this setting is, and the reason
that
sounded like that was. You know what? That sounds like Bill Murray, like doing the lounge singing.
That's right. Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. You met Bill Murray. He's a close personal friend of yours.
He is a person. I've got a photo. I have a photograph with him and his brothers, so that's a keepsake.
And his brothers.
Does anyone use the phrase keepsake anymore? I don't think so.
So there's one more of the intro, and then
I
at
was
the end,
going to say we're not done yet, are we? And I like the microphone too. That classic mic there. Did they do that too?
Yes, they do. So they actually, it generates an image based on the lyrics of the song.
Right.
So some of them are way more visually descriptive, but yeah.
I like the mic, the old school mic.
Yep. It's cool.
All right. So the last one, the pace.
The last one of the intro.
It's the Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are still able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I was too late on that applause. It should have been, and I waited.
If I was
too long.
running the board, I would have had it quicker, but I don't have access to sound apparently today. That's
awful. Too bad. I swear I didn't do it on my end. I wouldn't know any way to do that.
No, I was playing, and I think something happened today. Entertaining, and I went to the well and played. Sam wanted me to play for her, because these were her friends. In fact, Felicia, when you said Fee, that was her maid of honor. That was her maid of honor.
I remember the name Felicia, but I did not know.
You were at the wedding. They just passed the second anniversary. Sam and
how about them apples, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, hit the applause button.
Luckily, they got the big crowd for that one. Oh, by the way, I'm in a plane flying internationally. I forgot to mention that.
I was looking out the window there
Yeah.
for a while. I was kind of doing a Rod Serling thing. I thought
Again,
that'd
if I
be
had
a
enough time, I would have prepared a whole bunch of stuff to just fly by and not mention. Maybe next week.
You know what would be good? Mrs. Gulch. You have her fly
Yes,
by.
of
on her
course.
bicycle.
Oh.
Have her go by.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's a good
dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun.
it.
That's weird. I sang that earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying
That's
to
an
remember
earworm.
why. There was something about the witch. I don't know, or something. Why would that?
I don't know.
Not word.
But I was something, Felicia. I was going to tell you something about,
yes.
and now it again.
We
I
Animal
am-
Housed ourselves.
I was myself there, which is awful. Something about not being able to play the sound. That's been.
I know it
bothering
makes
me.
you feel like not like all circuits aren't connected. You don't have the same
I'm-
flow.
right.
The rhythm's not right. If you can't,
I feel like like a eunuch. I feel like I'm worthless. I don't have that. That's part of my. It's like a security blanket to be able to play.
it's the oh Jesus, the hair to
Well
your
said,
Samson,
Bob.
the Samson's
I'd
hair
like to
to your.
rewind the tape, and
it's
then
the-
I'll make a song out of that. That's what you just did to me. That was it's. I know what I was playing for them. That's why I was talking about Felicia. I was playing for them. Sammy's commercials that she won the Air Awards for, the Achievement in Radio Awards, and she wanted to she'd play it, and so everything was playing fine. All of the apparatus was operating correctly, and now for some reason, I'm sure a good old-fashioned reboot, Bob, and we'll be fine. So today was all wonky in that regard. I didn't do my normal routine before the show because I had
Oh,
guests.
really? So you're just
Yeah.
all. Hello.
Well,
You're all
you're
kitty
following me.
wampus.
I am Kitty Wampus, which, for those who don't know, I never heard that phrase before I met Bob Doyle.
And I never heard Jim Oak, ladies and gentlemen. I swore he was lying. That's a true memory,
Jim Oak.
right? I didn't make that one up.
No, you didn't.
That
That's
there was a
good one.
period
I
of
hadn't-
time when the bit was that I didn't believe that Jamoke was a word. It sounded like some sort of northern thing he made up just to try and shake
Yeah.
me. Shake me. The reason I said that is because it made me think of a Jamoke.
Wow,
shake.
do you beep when you back up like this? This is good. This is good.
No,
You're
I'm not
just-
backing up. I'm elaborating. I'm adding
Uh-huh.
on. I'm
That's good.
tangentizing.
Okay, then, yeah, sure.
I
Spell
don't
that-
know.
put
I'm
that
not
next
sure.
to
I'm
your
not sure.
smoke.
I'm tangentizing.
Oh, I don't.
Look, you said velveting
Oh.
earlier. I can say tangentizing.
Sure, you can.
Sure, you
But
can.
velveting, but velveting is a thing, and I was really
Well, sure is
jazzed.
tangentizing.
Well, man, I'm telling you. Well, how much time you got to do? 12 more minutes, buddy. Hang in there. You can do it. It's like when Johnny Carson was giving Ed McMahon a hard time. You want to take a little nap or a little nappy poo?
Oh God, that's so good.
That is good stuff.
Just so
I
called
found
out
a-
on
I
such
found
national
a-
television.
Yes. Speaking of that, I found a clip. I stumbled upon a clip of on Fallon's show and Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld sitting in the chair,
Okay.
and it's just a clip. It's a reel. It's like 45 seconds. But Jerry Seinfeld says, "You run credits at the end of this show, right?" And Jimmy Fallon says, "Yes." And he says, "Are there people who are executive producers of this show who do absolutely nothing for the show?" And Fallon is looking at like his floor producer, going, "How do I answer this?" And Jerry says, "Come on, you're on television right now. There are people who get credit at the end of this show who do nothing. They do absolutely nothing for the show." And Fallon looks at him and goes, "Sometimes." And I thought that was a great answer. No, it depends. That was what his thing was.
Oh.
It depends. And so the reason I bring that up is because it reminded me of Carson. When you would, at night, you would just go, it was like appointment television. You don't want to miss it because there was no YouTube to go see what you missed. If you didn't watch Carson, you didn't watch Carson. You know, and everyone would
That's-
talk about it.
I watched it sporadically. I mean, like really sporadically. I watched it if
But
I
you
knew
had
like
other
Steve Martin
examples.
was going to be on. You know, it was like
But Letterman, I bet you were a Letterman fan.
definitely. Well, I mean, when Letterman would sit, when Letterman filled in for Carson,
That was good.
yeah, that was when I would definitely watch.
But I also liked Letterman when he first followed Carson. And it was later, 11
Yeah,
or
and
12.
how silly that show was. I mean, that was,
It was.
oh my God, high school. You just forget. He's old.
Yeah, he's been around a stretch. But I I got to tell you, that to me was wild television at the time. The monkey cam, throwing fruit off of buildings, the whole thing with Hello Delhi, that was a gift
Larry
from God.
Bud Melman.
Yes. And who was the dude who looks like Kevin Underwood?
Chris
Who was
Elliott. Bob
Yes.
Elliott's son, yeah.
okay? And he was.
I don't know if
Oh,
that's...
Karen's 220 here in the
good.
UK.
Wow,
Karen,
Karen. You go, girl.
international consumption of the lounge.
Well, thank you very much. I might be flying over the UK right now. I don't even know.
You know what? And this show is duty free in the UK. Did you know that, Bob? This
I
is a
like
duty
to shop in the I like to stop at the duty free shop. I like to stop at the
What is
duty
that?
free shop. That's from Seinfeld.
Really?
Mhm.
How come I'm not
George,
familiar with that episode?
I think George and Kramer are in a car together for an airport pickup, and they start chanting that. Folks at
Well,
home
anyway.
who were alive during that time can verify, validate, dispute, but it has to be in writing, of course, in the form of a comment.
If not, then you're not eligible to go on the hopper.
By
which,
the
of
way,
course-
I'm noticing now it's hard for me to focus on because my glasses are such that if I look straight ahead, it's blurry. I have to look up to focus, so just everything's blurry. But I just happen to notice that my hair is super windblown because we've been being told of like this high wind advisory for days, not at a more than normal rate. Like even coming over my Alexa and all that stuff, like weird amount. I'm going, wow, I wonder what this is. And man,
yeah,
it's not right now, but today.
you got a sou'easter coming out of the NOAA west.
We get a lot of wind here, but this is one of those like just really windy. But temperature wise, it's amazing. So I was out in the gazebo today and playing the ukulele in the strong wind. Oh my god, it was paradise. I tell you.
You know what's funny? Well, no, I don't know if it's funny, but what's
funny?
interesting, which is interesting, is I was going to tell you I had one of those moments today too, but it had nothing to do with a gazebo, wind, or a ukulele. But it was one of those inside where you go, oh. I happened to click across The Mummy, the one with Brendan Fraser, like the 2000, I don't know, 1990 something Mummy, the movie.
Uh-huh.
And I watched it for like 40 minutes before I got ready to come and open the lounge with you. And I thought when I was a kid, Saturdays, I always watched those kind of monster movies, the fun ones, but they're a little scary. But they're fun. They're campy, and they tell a little joke. And I'm watching it going, it's Saturday, and I had that feeling, although none of it had to. The only thing I think is interesting is that we both had but yours was in a gazebo with a ukulele in the wind.
Gazebo. Now that's a line from a movie. Gazebo. I wonder if you can tell me what it is. But I just noticed that my friend Kimberly was on, and I missed her comment. It scrolled out already. So I hope you're still here,
had it because
Kimberly, was that
Bob,
really you requesting my contact information? I just want to make sure. Every now and then you get a Facebook message that says, "Hey, I
Bob,
lost
I'm
your."
sorry, I'm interrupting because I'm reading down here because you asked what Kimberly said, and I look at down here, and everyone at Sammy's wants to know how we met. Would you like to tell that story?
Haven't we told this a gazillions? Certainly.
Not to my new guests who are here today, Bob. It's part of the dinner package. They paid for the big package, which means they get to do requests in the lounge.
I can tell
It's
you,
like a VIP.
there's definitely two versions of this story, mine and Rob's, and the facts may be the same, but I'm telling you, Rob will make it sound way better. I'll say something in a way, like if you know me, the way he will say that I said it, I would never say. Like he tends to jazz me up, like, you play the keyboard? And you were like, you play the keyboard? No way! I'm like, I wouldn't in a million years do that. Now see, I'm jazzing up his jazzing.
Yeah, you're jazzing up. You're jazzing. All right.
All right. No, I think. Okay,
Can
so
you-
we
do
were
you
both.
remember
Okay,
the month and year?
yes. Let me see how quickly I can tell it, and then you can embellish if you want to. But just the shortest answer is we met at work. To extrapolate that, we both worked in morning radio at WSB in Atlanta at the same time. I worked there before him, and then I heard tell of this new producer coming in from the north for the FM side, and I don't know how this one piece of information got sold to me, but it was like he plays keyboard. Like I don't know if Rob, like at the job, went in there and played Heart and Soul for them or whatever. He fancies himself a keyboard player.
Song in C.
And so and then somehow I got wind that you were going to be able to choose. Oh, yes, that was it. And then you were going to be able to choose a keyboard for the station, like a synthesizer. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wonder if he needs help choosing. Because I had a very specific idea of the kind of thing I wanted. And I thought, well, maybe he doesn't, let's just find out. And I remember the moment meeting you in the hall, saying hello. And I don't remember how quickly we got to keyboard, but it seemed like pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Like, I'm going, wow, I met this guy. And within, I don't know, well, certainly the same conversation.
What's your name? Hi,
Certainly
Bob
the same-
Keyboard. Nice to meet you.
How are your pedals?
Yeah, no, so I don't remember. Then it evolved, and you were totally willing to, get input from me or whatever, because I had played
Yes.
with a bunch of these things and you didn't. So we just but there was that connection right away, right? Music, which was cool.
Right.
But of course, the best part of the button of this story is we work together. We choose the keyboard. I help him to. I think I.
Oh, you
had
did. You
input on
definitely.
that.
And
Okay.
the reason that I got to pick really is because the FM station had it in their budget. Bob was working on the AM station, so he was going, okay, but I don't know this guy. He might goof this all up. So yes, your input was definitely used.
The other thing I didn't know was his ability in terms of musicianship. I knew nothing. He was a keyboard player. He hadn't even played Me Heart and Soul yet, or the blues thing he does 1,000 times, or Chim Chimney. Now that came later because that was us. So he gets the keyboard. It's in. I'm very, very excited to see this keyboard, get my hands on it, and play with it. So I go in there. I remember this like so vividly. And I go in there, and there it is, and he's sitting there, and he offers to play something that he's working on or whatever, And we know it's a sequencer, so we know it's already recorded. I don't expect him to be playing. It's fine if he hits play. So he hits play. And I'm going, oh, man, he's good. Like, better than I want him to be. And it's a beautiful string thing. And I don't remember what I said or how soon you fessed. You may have let me sit through the whole thing and probably saw my face go all sorts of places. And then finally I'm like, wow, that's, that's really good. Whatever I said.
Something along those lines.
And you go, and you said, it's the demo, on the keyboard. So many emotions at that moment. First of all, I knew I had a new friend, for sure. He messed with me in a perfect way.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why. I didn't know you that well. I could have been doing it to some guy who was an ass, and he would have been pissed at me forever. This guy comes in and he thinks this is funny.
And he plays the demo. And he expects me to believe it was him. No, I was a bit. Yeah, okay. Like if I didn't, the guy who doesn't get you in bits, like he doesn't get bits. Like
right.
He doesn't get sarcasm. No, it was, I knew you were going to, God, I got to work here.
And then we did really bond pretty quick. Oh, the other thing then, Kirk Mellish, that helped us too.
Because you lived, so Kirk and I he was the weatherman there, he was Atlanta's only full-time radio meteorologist. And he and I were friends when already, and then when Rob moved in, he happened to move into the same freaking apartment complex as Kirk, and they were like right there.
2 buildings over.
So boy, that cost, the beer companies really profited off of all of that.
Wow. And a lot of pool time, man. I'm not shooting pool, but swimming in A. And Bob and his whole crew, his whole brood would come over, and we would do the grilling thing and the drinking thing and the, swimming pool and more drinking. Yes. And they many a time. And then that's how we became the knuckleheads that you know today. It started there.
That's about the applause I expected. Clickety-click. Hey, look. Okay, so the Suno app did an outro too, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna upgrade to see what version 3 is doing, what's different. And the main difference is it really like extrapolates. It makes things longer. And anyway, so we'll end here with this close. Okay.
Okay.
So because it's a little bit longer than the other thing. All right. Here we go. We'll still be here to comment, of course, but
Oh, I see. Okay.
I love that there's this long build-up.
Well, yeah, ladies
You've
and gentlemen,
been watching the
BBC.
Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And tell your friends and family to do the same.
That works.
After all, we do it for you.
Ooh, nice
If
beat.
you had a show, probably.
That'll work.
Oh yeah.
And with those words, those were the words they chose. I kid you not. Those were the words. So when those words came out, they decided that's when they were going to end the show. They could have done, I don't know, countless other things, but they chose that sequence of words to end it. And this is how we're left with the show. I don't get it. I don't think I can watch anymore.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
There it is.